Thank you, Brian. Demetrius Andrade came into his pro career with as much hype as any of the modern young American fighters. So far, the Olympian has stayed unbeaten, but still critics say he could do more, face better opponents, be further along. Tonight, we will see how he has progressed. He takes on Omar Bell. Demetrius Andrade, born and raised in nearby Providence. Now he's been training out of Florida. No longer managed and trained by his father, Paul. Instead, he's made a change that he feels will bring out the best in his career. Southpaw, junior, middleweight, now 23 years old. Omar Bell hasn't been all that active as a pro fighter, just 9 fights since '06. Served in the Marines, has held down a regular 9-to-5 job. Says boxing, well, it's just where life took him.
For Andrade, last time he was in with an undefeated prospect, he being Bell, well, he only lasted 1 round. Go get him. Give him nightmares, again, of that experience. And for Bell, well, Andrade is a southpaw. Go throw right hands, and hopefully you can land a big one.
That is how the fighters will keep their edge. Brought to you by Just for Men, Mustache and Beard. Dick Flaherty is the referee, as Andrade and Bell are scheduled for 8.
155 pounds, wears silver trunks with black trim. Professional record.
Omar Bell being introduced here, 32 years old, just a 4-year pro. Stepped up in class 1 time. That was against Keith Thurman. He was knocked out in the first round. Thurman was the silver medalist in the U.S. Olympic trials. Ironically, he lost in those finals to try to earn a ticket to the Olympic Games to Demetrius Andrade.
No defeats, 8 big knockouts. Please welcome Demetrius the Hammer Andrade. Our referee, Dick Flaherty, has our fighters' final instructions.
Okay, gentlemen, we expect you to touch your own all the questions and answer. I expect a good 28-round professional fight.
Okay, touch them up, guys. Good luck.
Teddy, nobody has put forth more criticism as to the slow road in terms of opponents opposite Demetrius Andrade than you. What do we have in terms of Omar Bell compared to what Andrade has faced in the past?
Not much of a step up, to be quite frank, and we like to be frank here. The record of Andrade's opponent seems to be his strongest feature. He looks to be in easy tonight, is Andrade. But we thought before he was in easy, and it didn't always turn out that way. It wound up going rounds. But I would be really surprised if Bell could survive here with Andrade. All but 1 fight for Bell have been in the South, where you can build records. We've talked about that before. The only loss for Bell was by KO. Last time Bell was in this position, fighting an undefeated prospect, was just 3 fights ago, Joe. And he was knocked out in 1 round.
The aforementioned Keith Thurman. That fight was back in August of 2008. So 3 fights ago, stretches all the way back to 2008 for Bell. Did not fight in all of 2009, then had a January and a March fight in 2010, and now resumes his career here in April 2011.
The first thing I notice is that Andrade is going to have to double up that jab if he's going to get the knockout tonight, because Bell fades out on him.
Yeah, that left hand isn't reaching, coming on the back end of that jab.
Now you go in 6 inches, Bell goes back about 10. So
speaks volumes as to his disposition as a fighter, doesn't it?
So you want to close the gap if you're Andrade. 1 jab is not going to get you close enough. That's what's going to do it, and that's going to be the ticket.
He doubled it up and then landed that left hand to the body. Now they tie up on the inside. Veteran New England referee Dick Flaherty separating Bell and Andrade.
Keith Thurman, who you mentioned a moment ago, was the fighter who knocked out Bell in 1 round, was beaten by Andrade in the amateurs. Bell has a terrible habit when you throw at him. He pulls back and that chin comes up. The old timers would say, like a lantern in a storm. A target for Andrade.
Snapping jab to the body. And you see the warning from Flaherty to Omar Bell.
Again, a little short, as you said, Joe, with the left hand for Andrade because one jab didn't get him close enough.
So coming to the end of round number 1 here. Another look at the U.S. Olympian, the unbeaten Demetrius Andrade. ESPN Friday Night Fights is presented by Corona Extra, proud sponsor of Friday Night Fights, and as always encourages you to relax responsibly. And in part by Just for Men hair color, knocks out the gray better than ever. The magnificent Mohegan Sun here in Uncasville, Connecticut. It's been a big part of the boxing scene for a decade and a half, and especially with this beautiful facility here, the Mohegan Sun Arena. Of course, boxing fans know it as the home to Gotti Ward 1.
Andrade, like most young people, in this case, young fight, he's 23 years old, a little stubborn. He's got it in his mind. He's going to land that left hand come hell or high water, and he's really pushing the envelope for that. What you want to see with a young fighter coming up the ranks is the ability to adjust a little bit. If one thing's not working, you have a repertoire. Go to another thing.
When we met with Andrade yesterday, Teddy, he discussed the fact that his father, Paul, is no longer in his corner, is no longer training or managing his career. He said, hey, we're cool. We still love each other. He's still a huge part of my life outside of boxing, but too much of my relationships outside of boxing were affecting my world inside the gym. So that a significant change for him.
And there's a significant change for Bell.
First knockdown of the night. And if he doesn't get up, that's it. All over. Count it out.
As we predicted, or we forecasted the possibility, it would not be a long night for Andrade. Bell coming in here with a lot of inactivity. 1 year and 1 month since he was last in the ring. And if you went back 2 fights, he was off 1.5 years. Whether or not it was the rust or the left hand of Andrade, a little bit of both, but the left hand lands there solid. We'll take another look. Andrade comes in and he makes that adjustment. He throws the left hand a little low and Bell ducks into it. Watch, Bell ducks down and the left hand thrown down low right into the ducking Andrade. A nice little adjustment, good eyes by Andrade. Not a great opponent in front of him, but a nice delivery of that punch.
So Demetrius Andrade with the thudding, well-timed, well-placed left hand ending the evening.
Yeah, what I really like about that is, I said earlier that Andrade was stubborn tonight. He was going to land that left hand come hell or high water. But what I liked was he adjusted it. He lowered the sights on it to a little lower, and Bell, as he bent right into the punch.
And with Demetrius Andrade getting rid of Omar Bell early, well, Kevin Rooney Jr. will now be making his pro debut televised. That is going to be coming up before our main event, as well as all the news and analysis. For the official particulars, we send it up to the ring to Generous Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, the time 1 minute and 31 seconds of round number 2. Your referee, Dick Flaherty, reaches the count of 10. Your winner by knockout, From Providence, Rhode Island, Demetrius "The Hammer" Andrade.
Well, the hammer definitely struck tonight. Demetrius Andrade, who had a January win on Friday Night Fights, comes back here in April, runs his mark now to 13-0 with 9 knockouts.